Calculator.
I am Noah Williams. I'm here with Exotic Automotive Magazine, and we're going to be doing a comparison between the 2018 Mustang GT 5.0 and the 2016 Mustang Ecoboost 2.3-liter turbo. Okay, as far as these two cars go, they're relatively similar in body style and appearance, or at least they were when they're stock. As you can tell, this one is not stock, and this one is. So for the 2018 model year, Ford decided to do a mid-cycle refresh. In that mid-cycle refresh, they changed a lot. Basically, they changed the entire front end here. Basically, everything in front of the window, or in front of the windshield changed, including the fenders, which slope down more. The hood slopes down more, and the front bumper comes up just a little bit to meet the hood. But they changed the front bumper completely, as you can tell from this one. This one's a lot more angular, sort of cuts in there. And as well, they've changed the grille. The bottom grille here is different, as well as there's a new piano black upper grille, as opposed to on the 2016 model year. We've got matte black grills for both upper and lower, and as well as their different shape. The bumper in general is a lot less angular. We also have completely different headlights. They've changed around the headlights. They've made them a lot more angular. The DRLs to be a lot more curved, which fits in line with the taillights, which they've done the same thing. In the 2016, taillights and the DRLs are similar in that they're just large bars, as opposed to this, where they're curved in and they have the sort of cutout in the middle. The next thing that's different about these two cars is the wheels. So this car we have here is the black pack. So as you can see, it's got the blacked out emblems, as well as the black wheels and a black roof. So these wheels are exclusive to the black pack. I really like them. I think that this classic, just black, generic looking wheel looks really good on Mustangs. I've got a set like that for my car in the summer. And then on this car, we've got the stock wheels, which in my opinion are kind of lacking. These wheels came with the wheel and stripe pack, which the car has, as you can tell by the wheels and the stripe. Very creative name. So moving toward the back of the car, Ford changed a bunch for the 2018 model years, including the taillights, which over the 15 through 17 cars, they've sort of cut out this middle part and made them a lot more aggressive, and I really like the look of these. They're really great, and I want to pick up set for my 16. Additionally, they've made a very bizarre change, which I don't understand why. They've decided to put two little grooves in the deck lid panel. I don't know what that does or why they decided to do that. I don't really see the point in that, but it looks okay, I guess. They've changed the surrounding area to the license plate. They cut out more to fit with this angular theme that they're going with for the car. Lastly, they changed the diffuser, which now accommodates the quad tip exhaust, which now comes standard on the cars, and you can get an active exhaust if you choose. The lower diffuser there is the same one from the 15 to 17 cars, and they just changed the upper valence there. All right. And around back on my car, we can see that compared to the 18, the taillights here are a lot less aggressive and just sort of have the 3 bars on each side. I have mine tinted and blacked out because it fits with the theme of my car. The diffuser down here is different. Mine is a non-premium car, so it came originally with an all-body color rear bumper. I didn't like that, so I changed my rear valence and diffuser to be black. Additionally, the back bumper is a little bit different. The area surrounding the license plate's a little bit different. And as well, I have a larger spoiler on here. I have the one off of the Shelby GT350, whereas the 18 has a stock one. So now we're in the cars. Right now we're driving the 2018. So as far as interior goes, the two cars are very similar. Pretty much the entire dash is the same. The infotainment system is the same basic sync that I have in mine. It works well. It's nothing fancy, but it's got Bluetooth. It's got everything you need. They've changed a few things in the interior for the 18 cars, such as the steering wheels wrapped in a different kind of leather. I think it's a little bit slipperier, honestly, than the leather in the 15 to 17 cars. Other than that, it's pretty much the same on the interior. This car does have the base seats. I'm a big guy and I don't really have any headroom whatsoever with these seats, so that's definitely a reason to go for something like the Recaros. In the 18 and up cars, they're only available in the premium models, whereas on the 15 to 17, they were available on even the base models, which was really great because I own a base model. As far as driving experience goes, the throttle response in this car is way different than my car. Naturally aspirated V8 versus a turbocharged 4-cylinder. You get a lot more low down power in this car, and it's a lot snappier. If you just sort of touch the gas like that, it's sort of instant acceleration, whereas with my car, it takes a little bit and you have to sort of build it up. Additionally, this car is way faster than my car. It's got over 100 horsepower on mine. It's overall a much faster car. The tires that come with this car are the 255 Pirelli P0s, which in my opinion are not a good choice for a stock tire for a rear-wheel drive 400 horsepower car. I think that they needed something like Michelin Pilot Sports, or something that just has a lot more grip, or to even just go with a wider tire. The 255s aren't enough for this car, and traction control kicks in constantly. Whereas for the Ecoboost, mine came with the 255s and it was perfectly fine from the factory. I had plenty of grip, but for a GT, you're definitely gonna wanna look at getting an aftermarket set of wheels, something a little bit wider, something you can put a little bit more meat on. The transmission in the two cars is the same. The MT82, it's a good transmission. There are apparently some issues that 18 owners will have where they'll get locked out of gears. I've not experienced that, and just in the test driving that we've had here. Yeah, the brakes in this car are a lot stronger, they're a lot larger. This one has just the standard GT brakes, but they are a lot larger than the standard Ecoboost brakes. But if you get a performance pack Ecoboost, that's really gonna lessen the gap between the two. Or if you get a performance pack car, then it's gonna widen the gap. Overall, I think these brakes are really nice. You don't really have any issues with them, but they will lock up the tires. They are that strong. So again, going back to that, I think you do need a different set of tires if you're gonna own one of these cars. Let's get on it a little bit here. It does sound nice from the factory. They did change a lot with the stock exhaust. The stock exhaust on the GTs is a lot better, as well as they've added that active exhaust, which I think if you're gonna buy one of these cars, you really should go for the active exhaust. It's great just to have that from the factory. You really don't need an aftermarket exhaust if you purchase one that has the active exhaust equipped. It's plenty loud, it's everything you need. We'll get on it a little bit. As you can see, it is very fast. It's got a lot of power, but traction control kicked in there, and it's not an optimal car to be driving around in the winter, but it's definitely doable. I do it with my car. It's definitely something that you could do. And it handles well. These cars really handle so much better than the S197s with that independent rear suspension. You really could take this on a track and not die. But you really can feel the difference in the weight up front with this versus the Ecoboost. There is quite a few more pounds up front, so it's a different handling feel, but it's still pretty similar. So as far as the interior goes on the 2016, as you can see, it's very similar to the 18. They didn't change very much for the mid-cycle refresh. Some things they did change, like the dashboard texture is a little bit different. The Mustang badge there is a little bit different, but nothing substantial. I really like this interior because it has these Recaro seats. They're amazing. They hug you in place really well. They give me about another inch of headroom, which is something that I definitely need. So the driving characteristics of this car are quite different from the GT. The throttle response is totally different. As you can see here, if I step on it, it takes a little bit to get going, whereas the GT was just that instantaneous response. This car's a lot quieter too. It does have an aftermarket exhaust on it, but it's just an Axleback, and in general, 4-cylinders are gonna be a lot quieter than V8s. So that's to be expected. Additionally, this car has a lot less weight up front compared to the GT. So I really do have the advantage when it comes to cornering. I'm also on winter tires, which really does help since we're in the middle of January right now. And we live in Wisconsin, so we have a lot of snow. The winter tires, if you're gonna drive your Mustang all year round, are a must. And summer tires, wide summer tires, are also very recommended. The clutch feel on this car is a little bit different than the GT. I do think that they have changed some things in the transmission, as I sure hope they have, for that mid-cycle refresh. The clutch in this car engages just a little bit later. That might be because this car is broken in a little bit more. It does have a brand new clutch in it, put in a couple thousand miles ago. Performance and how they drive and stuff.
Okay. And then do donuts with both.
Yes, right here. This is a car we've borrowed from the lovely Kaiser Ford, and we're gonna fucking rip shit in this thing.